believing in
you ready?
your boys. Not
Are
as
you ready?
as
I'm
you.
ready.
I'm not as ready as you.
I've always wanted to give somebody a stunner live on broadcast.
That was impressive, actually.
Also, sorry to Raz. I think I kicked you somewhere I didn't intend to. But point is,
where were you
people
aiming?
are disrespecting Shopify. Do you have DSG in your predictions, Jatt?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
But we'll see. I think Shopify has been the weirdest team, and even going back to last year, Kangas, you and me talked about this, they're the most frustrating team for me to predict.
Yeah.
Because all the observable data says that you should predict against them, but then they kept making these runs in playoffs where they actually finished third in Split 2 and Split 3. So,
which is part of what baited a lot of folks, myself included, that, hey, if they get this new mid laner picked up, they can make deeper pushes, but three wins all year long.
They just do things differently. We just watched Ashe Seraphine come from nowhere and dominate. Karma's banned, DSG gets Ashe Seraphine. What's the answer? Lucian, Milio? Like, kind of.
Yeah.
We've seen Lucian take over a few games, but I feel like it just makes the game hard.
I mean, if you can get a lead with this, and even if you don't necessarily get the early lead, we've seen that the scaling of the Lucian Milio is real.
It's huge.
Once you get into the mid lane, you can just blow up these low mobility carries like Ashe, but it's that laning phase that's a little scary for me because of how oppressive Ashe Seraphine is and how much push they can get. And then you pair it with the Bvoy, which you always want the bruiser jungler, somebody that's going to go in and kind of set up the Seraphine to follow up that engage and then keep them alive.
I don't love Vi into Milio because the Milio is a great counter-engaged champion, and Vi has kind of the only option is to all in. I like the Shen ban, though, from Ido, just in case Contractz wanted to play the jungle Shen like Griffin has been doing as an answer into the Vi.
Yeah.
I feel like also your adrenaline is so high.
I'm
wondering how long. Like, are we doing
right
the whole series like this?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're gonna go back to normal.
I think well, you know what? We'll see. If Shopify start winning, it's probably gonna come back.
It's going all in.
It's coming right back. Also, every time I do a bit like that, I'm reminded I need to do more cardio. I gotta get that up.
Because you ran all the way.
Ran all the way here.
From the lounge to
Almost
here.
broke Raz's glasses. Somehow they teleported under my feet after I ran away. Hopefully he's found them. You know, I'm sure somebody's handed them to him. Olaf, the hover right now, is Ksante was locked in for DSG, and it is gonna be Olaf. Okay.
So very likely Olaf jungle for Contractz, unless they wanted to flex it mid lane, but that would be super rare.
Could you imagine?
Zinie's Annie has looked good if they decide to lock this in when he's played it. He has to blind pick here. Callme's going to be able to get counter pick.
Zinie did have that legendary 5-champ ultimate in his first series back here in Spring Split. So I agree, it's one that he has looked good on, but when I look at this team composition, Jatt, I am not seeing a late game scaling comp. I am seeing a Shopify Rebellion that kind of wants to win early and keep snowballing that, because when you have Olaf and Annie, they just have so much power as soon as they hit level 6.
Yeah, you really want Olaf to be able to capitalize on the hard engage of Annie. And there's a lot to... I mean, Cassio is so good against Olaf, and if you can get a little bit of MR, I feel like you can get above the burst thresholds for Annie, so I actually really like the Cassio pick here to go with the Ashe Seraphine Ksante. The only thing that doesn't fit in the DSG comp to me actually is the Vi. Otherwise, they'd have this really nice front-to-back team fighting.
So what are the reasons you like the Cass into the Olaf, though? Because when I think of Olaf, I think CC immune, he can run you down. Cass can't really stop that. Is it just that she out-DPSs him in those prolonged fights?
Yeah, I think the Cassiopeia into Olaf or into Annie. Again, I cut out for a second there.
Into Olaf.
Into Olaf. Yeah. I mean, partially it's because you're forcing Olaf to ult just to get to you, because you can usually either kite him with just QE move speed or just throw out the miasma to slow him down. And then when he does ult, oftentimes by the time he gets to you, you've already pumped out a large amount of damage and you're kind of a bruiser yourself. So I think Cassio is just pretty good at kiting Olaf, and also is the type of sustained damage you need to kill an Olaf when he's in a fight.
Well, let's see if Disguise is able to pull that off. If they win this series, locks for playoffs. If Shopify 2-0, they lock themselves. If it's a 2-1 for Shopify, we can get into one of those 3-way tiebreaker scenarios, but we'll talk about that more depending on what happens in tomorrow's series, of course. Point is, both of these teams have some of their destiny in their own hands. Depending on how they perform here today, Shopify with, I feel like, a very Shopify draft, if we want to put it that way, and Disguise with the counters. Push in the bot lane and a counter pick mid lane. Let's see if it gets them across the finish line.
And I also got to say, as there's actually a quick 3-man rush into the bot here, trying to play quick around the Lucian Milio.
They only see the Bvoy. They did not see that Zinie went down there as well, but you already have to start leaving if you want to get to that mid lane.
He's going to be late if he's still there. He's already gone.
Yeah.
So they were really hoping that Lyonz and Sajed would really hard contest that early brush. but they decided not to.
He's going to be spotted now on this Raptor. So let's see what Callme does with the lane. We don't have the same. Oh, no. Why are we showing this again? Yeah. The power ranking fiasco that was lock-in tournament had them first. And this year, they're 3-16. A disaster of a performance over the year compared to where I know I wasn't alone. A lot of people had them more like 4th to 5th at the high end of their rankings, but I don't think many people had them this far down.
The great thing, though, Kangas, about League of Legends is usually if you never lose another game, you can win the World Championship. So there's always a way out.
That's where you're at.
There's always a way out. Like they 2-0 this, they're in playoffs, they win all their playoff series, they're going to MSI.
Let's start with winning MSI. I think that's where they have to really put their heads at right now, if the goal is Worlds. Level 2 hit by Sajed and Lyonz in the bot lane, as this is expected with the Ashe Seraphine. I think that the Lucian Milio is going to need a lot of help to really start winning in the pure 2v2 matchup, unless they just start purely out-handsing their opponents. Junglers pathing on opposite sides, though. Contractz is heading towards the bottom camps. Meanwhile, KryRa heading towards the top.
For sure. And to talk a little bit more about DSG, it is kind of wild what has happened to their perception throughout the split, because they open up by beating Sentinels. Perception is high.
Yep.
Then they get swept 4 series in a row and lose Castle, their best performing player, to Lion. But because Srtty came in last week and played so well, they're kind of just back.
Yep.
They're just back to just totally fine again.
If you look at Srtty's stats, purely from the 2 games that they've played, you know, absolutely crazy. I think Berserker might still be ahead of him in gold diff at 15. He's like the only player right now. But
and early on, it's Ksante into Rumble, which is a pushing winning matchup for Rumble.
True.
He's doing decently on Ksante. Also gone with the new Doran's Helm, which is just a made for Ksante item because of the armor and MR that it gives him, and Ksante just wants to collect armor and MR items.
Scales pretty well, even as an early game item, as Sajed lost his support back up for a moment there. Lyonz went for an early reset and is now back into the lane, but the wave is pushing back in, but this gives a small window where Bvoy and Seos fancy themselves a fight. Big chunk onto Lyonz. That's heal out of disguised support.
That'll be nice for Seos and Bvoy to be able to play aggressively. They also have Olaf in the bot river, but KryRa going for something early on to Fudge.
Available. Flash from Fudge. Nice enough. The third Topo strike will pull him back, but he's into safety. Now, Contractz actually looking at the bottom side. Lyonz never went for the reset. So he's about 3/4 health. They can get this big wave to crash. Shopify could look for the dive.
Pretty healthy. This is a big overstay here by Contractz.
I think they have to
go
pull
for
the trigger at this point. They don't have a lot of CC, so let's see who takes it up first. Looks like it's going to be Seos, and that's first blood to Bvoy. Clean dive for Shopify Rebellion.
Really nicely done. Huge amounts of damage since it was a heal-less Lyonz. And then Seos correctly took the turret aggro, was the one who does the least damage, able to flash out at the end. Would have been nicer, obviously, to get the kill onto Sajed, because then you're denying the huge wave, but that was never the target they'd be able to dive with him with barriers. So good job collecting that first blood. Hurts Contractz' jungle tempo just a little bit, but he's back with the double longsword. Good to go.
And the whole wave was still under turret, so Sajed has to stay, catch that wave under turret, and is now reset. So it's about a wave and a half advantage alongside the first blood gold for Bvoy. The pickaxe buyback. Much stronger early start here for Shopify Rebellion in the bottom lane, as Seos will now go mid lane, help out Zinie, drops down the cozy campfire, and will just help out his mid laner, stay in lane for a little longer.
Yeah, I need to correct myself, actually, when I was saying that was an overstay. That was not an overstay for Contractz. He actually full cleared based, got double longsword, then did the crab into the invade. So his tempo is completely fine with that gank, especially when Bvoy showed herself top lane with that gank. So really well done by Contractz there to get the first blood. Something Shopify hasn't had many of this split. They'd only gotten first blood in 23% of their games so far. So securing it here is a nice start. Yeah, that's lower than their, almost as low as their win rate.
You want to be on the other side of, is Sajed also not happy on the side of this bot lane that he's finding himself currently. Bvoy asserting himself in the 2v2, and now it looks like Sajed's going to have to go for another back. Ooh, this poor bot lane start's getting even worse now for DSG.
Sajed has had laning phase as his biggest weakness. It's a 2-man lane, so both Sajed and Lyonz have been struggling a lot. The Ashe Seraphine does scale exceptionally well, but if you're, usually it's like a Karma that's able to outpush it, or something like a Nautilus to try and engage. Haven't seen many Lucian Milios be able to take it down. The dive helps a lot with this, obviously.
Yeah,
but
it's not just Sajed in the laning phase. I want to highlight as a little trade there mid. I've also seen Lyonz and Sajed just having completely missynced moments. Like there again, Lyonz gets chunked out, starts channeling it back, is now staying in lane, but Sajed had gone for the reset. Lyonz gets chunked for free. And now the bot lane's in a bad spot again. So it's like, who do you point the finger to? AD carry support. Either way, I feel like we've seen these moments creep up in DSG games.
Yeah, and KryRa wouldn't necessarily want to go face first into the Olaf, but he had 6 wraps around.
Just straight in onto Zinie, who was just walked up into the wave. And that is an easy pickup for DSG's jungler, KryRa on the board.
I mean, he'd taken the top crab, second spawn, so he was level 6, wanted to make a play on level 6 immediately. Zinie thought he was playing a bit towards his jungle, but was just too far up in the lane.
Yeah.
And now KryRa still has this level advantage onto Contractz. Next camp should be level 6 for Contractz.
Yeah, if Contractz wins this smite, it's actually really rough for KryRa, who has Lyonz in his back
probably
pocket.
Kill him.
Contractz just going to chase him down, says, I don't need the level 6. I also have my support behind me, and will get it. That smite was a little close.
Well, it reset, so KryRa actually thought he was going to smite below 1,000, but it had healed.
Oh, Bvoy thought he found a moment there. Capitalizing on KryRa, looking at the Gromp, and we'll just chunk him out as well. Contractz now back onto the Dragon. He gets the smite, reset or not from the camp. He's now level 6, and also has a Dragon.
Geez, that was so close, but it's perfect the way it worked out for Shopify, because they know KryRa used his smite, they know KryRa was chunked low, and they have that permanent bot prio. So Contractz definitely doing his best to run this early game.
Finds himself ahead in the jungle matchup. The bot lane is just getting more and more ahead. It's now 24 CS advantage. That's a little over 3 total waves when you factor in the cannon there. It's just not looking great for Sajed and Lyonz in that 2v2. And now again, Seos getting out of the lane, helping out Zinie stay safe, pushing this one. So far, that was the only rough play for Shopify, was Zinie walking too far forward. I like that you highlighted he thought he had the jungle back up, but said he's the one that gets jumped on by the enemy jungler. A little faster on the engage, level 6 Vi. As now,
Callme, getting pretty aggressive.
Ultimate thrown onto Callme. Zinie's just using these as kind of like a poke tool to keep Callme's health down.
But I mean, this is kind of what I talk about why I like Cassio in this matchup. Catalyst and a null magic. Zinie used his whole bar on him, and what's Callme? He's just easily killing Tibbers, keeping the wave over half health, still has his Cassio ultimate for anything he needs, so Callme's in a good spot in lane.
That time Zinie giving respect. He did not walk up to KryRa in the brush. No cease and desist available on the Vi, but had the flash and the Vault Breaker. And now Zinie is going to have to look for a reset sometime soon here as his mana bar is very low.
Sajed is also always in base.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole it's 51 CS at 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
How many resets has he had so far? Is that 4?
A million.
4 resets minimum?
He hasn't left the base. He comes back to lane, he looks at his health bar, realizes it's too low, and bases again. That's the whole game, it feels like.
Yeah. And we always talk about Sajed as a player. I like to highlight the fact when team fights happen, this kid shows up. He is cracked in the 5v5 and positioning and target selection, but it's just getting out of laning phase without this deficit. Now it's 1,000 individual for Bvoy and 9 minutes into the game. He's going for another reset. This time at least it makes a little more sense. You push the wave and go for a reset, and you're kind of trying to avoid the Lucian as much as you can, who went for a very interesting build, I might add.
Absolutely wants the shield cut as quickly as possible. Serpent's Fang first item Lucian is not something I've seen much of. I mean, it'll work. Vi shields, Ksante shields, Seraphine shields.
Get a lot of value off of it, as looks like the
stun
must have landed right there onto Zinie. Callme setting up the play for KryRa. Actually, no, it's an Ashe arrow. Yeah, the Petrifying Gaze was still on off cooldown for Callme right there. Is now Fudge going for a 1v1 against Srtty. Big damage, but Ksante should be just fine. Third and Topo strike, not going to pull Fudge back under the turret. Nice arrow, though, from Sajed. That's what you want from your AD carry, who's falling behind. As now it looks like Contractz flashing away, turning back into Callme, just trying to drain take his way up as Bvoy flashes the wall, gets the damage onto KryRa, and Shopify Rebellion's bot lane shows up to save the day.
Whew. Bot lane is just trying to save the day because top lane is down 10 to 15 CS in Ksante versus Rumble. Ooh, Srtty going for an all-in.
That's a flash from Fudge. All out from Srtty is going to be just
try and flash
kited away. Fudge is able to get back to safety. Yeah, Srtty could have maybe looked for a flash to follow, but at that point it's so hard to stay on top of the Rumble.
Would have been really aggressive, but that was a situation there where Callme was in a great spot because the Ashe arrow had killed Zinie, but Contractz able to duel Watch the arrow right here. Gets the good angle, straight down the mid lane, boom. Ooh, can't dodge it. Then straight on the miasma, so there's no way he flashes immediately into the Vi ultimate. Nothing you can do once that first Ashe arrow lands. So Shopify's like, oh, can't do much.
Yeah, that's probably what Zinie did. Hands off the keyboard, you know, you're probably not going to move for a while. Here's the other replay of Contractz with a play he found.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually with the mid lane kill, Callme and KryRa were going in to try and put Contractz down. Really good flash from Contractz there. I feel like if that Vi Q lands, maybe they're able to one-shot him, but Bvoy moves up.
Back to live.
And
Looks
Srtty,
like Fudge getting run down by Srtty again. The flash was used that time, and it's a solo kill for Srtty. KryRa now Vault Breakers on to Contractz. That is a Scuttlecraft picked up by Shopify Rebellion's jungler, but in comes Callme. Pops the Olaf ultimate, he's taking his way through it! Trades his life 1-for-1 in the jungle.
that's very good for DSG and specifically Srtty. So, not great for KryRa. Kill did go over to Contractz. As you could see his ultimate ticking down, the Olaf ult came up at exactly the right time to get that kill onto Srtty. But Srtty's been looking great. I know he talked about on his stream this is a short-term thing. This is a spectacular audition for a long-term contract because they're 2-0 with Srtty. He's solo killing Fudge, Ksante versus Rumble, who, when I believe it was Thanatos did this, we're saying Thanatos unstoppable. Srtty's doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing to the same player. So, got to give Srtty some credit here.
I love what you're doing, Jatt. I just got to ask, how many times do we have to see this type of performance for these players to get picked up? I feel like it's so tough in the current landscape. Players like Srtty have been around for a while. He did this last year, and he's doing it again now.
I will say, the environment for him in top lane is so much better than it's ever been with role quests. He struggled so much with team play, in lane swapping. He was getting lane swapped every single game, but now I feel like, especially if he's able to do this on Ksante, the meta stuff, we know he has pocket picks like Camille and Vayne. We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves because this is DSG versus Shopify, but this is the time for Srtty to, you know, if they had top lane role quest last year, I think there's a good chance Srtty's still,
especially with these, you know, younger rookie top laners who have not had the years of experience that players like Impact have had. The top lane swap was definitely a different meta to approach. I like that we're seeing the strength of Srtty. Bot lane's still behind by quite a large margin, but Callme's keeping them in the game too. So overall, the game gold is pretty much even as we have Dragon set up.
Bot lane is a disaster for DSG. So this Drake is kind of uncontestable. Serpent's Fang Lucian, it's almost like he's just going to have the Serpent's Fang and then the full build is kind of how far ahead he is of the Ashe. So it's one of these things that you can do when you're ahead and not really get hurt that much by it.
You know what I'm realizing? It's also value against the Seraphs. So once Callme has that completed,
it's going to work
just
against everything. No,
really smart pickup.
It's good. And a reminder of the playoff implications right now as well. Shopify, it's really important they 2-0. If they 2-1 even, they're not in full control of their playoff situation because Dignitas can do some funny business tomorrow.
They can do the funniest thing of all time.
And knock Shopify out of playoffs. And then also, on the side of DSG, theirs is a lot simpler. 2-1 or 2-0, win and you're in.
They're in. That's much, much easier, much simpler. They get a little wiggle room as Zinie gets the stun on Callme, but just does not do a lot of damage at all. Rod of Age is already putting in work. His Contractz will run for it. Has Seos behind with the warm hugs, but just not nearly enough for KryRa. Actually, Vault Breakers back in. Sees an assist onto Seos, trying to set up the team, but he just gets popped. It is a 1-for-1 as eventually Milio will go down. Trading your jungler for the support, though.
Not loving what I'm seeing out of KryRa in this game. I will say KryRa is a very confident player. And sometimes he just feels like he really needs to make something happen, and he's had a few bad games because of this where he just keeps forcing. That to me looked like a bit of an overforced play, thinking we have Cassio, Ashe, Seraphine, we win a fight. Let's just make sure we fight. But it wasn't necessarily the right time. He falls a little bit further behind the Olaf. It was a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, so can't fault him too much.
You can be a good dad, Jatt. Talking about, he's a confident player.
It's a confidence thing.
You know, he really believes in himself.
It's high effort.
Doing that move. But it has mounted a bigger lead for Contractz now. 1,000 gold for himself, 2,000 for Bvoy. Again, kind of answered just from the top in the mid lane of DSG, so the gold's still not swing in one way or another. It just comes down to who can carry harder. Because Lucian, I'd say the downside of something like the Serpent's Fang, it's so cool to think about, oh, all the shielding reduction, all that, but like, realistically, is it the stats that you need to take down a Ksante primary frontline who also has a big lead? Maybe not. I mean, I'm not confidently saying that. Like, there's a chance that it is still enough.
He's got 15 lethality. That'll take the Kasante's armor from 122 to 107.
That's something.
That's a little bit.
That's a
little bit of
numbers right there.
I mean, I think just the fact that he has a free Serpent's Fang, if you compare his items, like it's one item to
oh my
one item
God,
and
it
Fang.
is free. I didn't even realize
He's
that.
a full item ahead. But at the same time, you know, his mid laner's behind. His top laner's really behind.
Jungle's just straight up 1v1 in under turret, and he gets it! Contractz just straight up 1v1 KryRa under the turret.
Jungle bot. Jungle bot. Play jungle bot. What a play there. Contractz, Seos, and Bvoy are this three-man wrecking crew, and they're just hoping their solo lanes can hold it together.
Lyonz now trying to get away. Okay, he's fine. Man, it's been a while since I've seen a Contractz performance quite like this, Jatt. We know what he's capable of. We know Contractz at his prime is just unstoppable, and I think KryRa is feeling a little bit of that magic right now.
This man wants to make playoffs. He does not want to be denied playoffs. It doesn't matter if they've lost 5 series in a row. They can start the winning streak whenever and see how far it takes them. And if Contractz is playing like this, he's had a lot of standout early games. They just haven't been able to stay connected and transition it into team wins. But the connection here is jungle, Lucian, Milio, stick together, guys. Because if they are together, they're winning these fights.
Olaf canonically likes hugs. The warm hugs are great.
Okay.
He's always trying to hug the enemy AD carry. That's my headcanon, at least. And now he's got the Milio to help him out. And now double CC immunity, if you think about it, because we had talked about that with the Ragnarok and the Olaf, but the Breath of Life from the Milio also just means that the Ashe arrow, the Encore, the Petrifying Gaze, so much less valuable against a lot of the comps. So
God, what CC? So yeah, you mentioned Breath of Life already from the Milio and the Mikhails, plus the Olaf. They have so many ways of cleansing the CC from DSG.
All right, let's see if DSG can do it. They're not out of this game yet. They have leads, and now they're TPing that lead down into the bottom river. Looking at Bvoy. Callme walking up. KryRa as well. That's early flash from Seos as now the Callme comes out to get some damage early. Fudge sidesteps the Vault Breaker. Now cease and desist in onto Seos. Encore used. They got him. Killing spree for Srtty as DSG's top laner leads the way. Contractz chases in. Sajed trying to kite back, but Contractz is just drained, taking through everybody. KryRa wins the fight on the side, but a double kill to Contractz. But that is the AD carry down.
Zinie still has...
He's got the stun, he throws it out, lands it onto Srtty, who has to flash away now. Sajed's trying to use the space. KryRa gets in onto Zinie. He's down. Contractz still alive. Double kill again to the Olaf, picking up 2 in one fight.
It's an absolute bloodbath. 9 kills to 9. Almost identical gold, and Contractz with 7 kills. He's an absolute behemoth now on the Olaf. They could not take him down, but somehow they actually did get onto Bvoy. We'll have to watch that fight one more time with the flank TP coming in from Srtty's Ksante. So him and Contractz are fighting on the bottom. I'm watching Bvoy channeling up top. So they catch him with the end of the Seraphine ultimate, and then KryRa gives him a little vibe bump. Before running him down, and then he's super low. KryRa just charges up another Q, barely finishes him off with a smite in the third auto. So able to take Bvoy out of the fight thanks to the Seraphine ultimate. And then Contractz Zinie end up winning this 2v3. Could have made a little escape herald there, but the fight starts a bit before that. Got caught there with Zinie having Tibbers up, but he had the stun, as we're probably jumping out for more action.
Drake's already taken by Shopify Rebellion. Stun lands onto Callme, the Culling as well. Not enough damage for the kill, but enough to really threaten the Cassiopeia, so DSG gonna have to back off. That's 3 dragons picked up by Shopify Rebellion.
Already soul point this early on in the game. You love to see that, since I believe the scaling on the Ashe, Seraphine, Cassio is really high. So if they can get that early mountain soul, that'll really help them be able to win late game team fights.
Ooh, the equalizer goes down, not landing onto Callme, so instead they turn everything in onto the jungler KryRa. Nice little sidestep there, gets the Vault Breaker over the wall. Contractz was trying to body block it unsuccessfully, so DSG get their jungler out.
And Baron's up now, so you always have to worry about someone sneaking that, especially Cassio Ashe. They kill Baron very quickly. I just also feel like how fed Lucian, Olaf are. It's a decent Baron threat for them as well. And
Zinie stopping
quick
the
little
back.
proto belt.
Yeah.
Nice macro proto belt right there. Gets the ult out of Callme, thinking he was getting all in.
Yeah, didn't even throw down the Tibbers, so he still has that as a tool. No flash available, so no way to really get onto Callme, as KryRa's actually here with the sweeper. Callme could look to be bait. Now Zinie has to run back. Cease and desist. Buffers the stun. And that is chain CC, but locked under turret. KryRa will go down 1 for 1.
Nice confidence there once again by KryRa. May have died 5 times. Doesn't mean you can't give another kill to your mid laner.
Yeah.
Absolutely worth it. Now your mid
2.4K
laner
ahead.
is 2,500 gold and 50 CS up on the ante.
Big lead for DSG in the solo lane department. That is what's keeping them in the game. Actually, technically with the lead right now.
What a crazy game, man. 2,500 gold. Solo lanes are 5,500 gold up, but they're only 300 gold up in the game.
Yeah.
Because of bot jungle.
This is
how disparate.
This is an entertaining one, to say the least.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confidence in this game.
We really have the superheroes to follow during the fight, you know? Like
we really do.
We have to watch we only have to watch Olaf, Lucian, and then Ksante, Cassio. Those are like the 4 champs. They're deciding the game.
I mean, it's a pretty easy flowchart to follow. Is Lucian free firing? Yes, good. Is Cass free firing? Also, yes, good. Now, who's going to be...
Nice Mikhails.
Taken down first. Mikhails from Seos. Yep, gets himself out of there.
Self Mikhails is tricky. You got to press it right before the Ashe arrow hits you, and then the 0.2 seconds, it'll go off and stun you. You can't do it while stunned.
Interesting. Good timing there.
Yeah, pros just make it look easy all the time.
As a support player, I pride myself in not building Mikhails. So.
Yeah. I think that's a good recommendation. Anyone that's not like diamond or above, just don't even bother with active items. You're just going to forget most of the time.
Well, Locket's fine.
Is it?
Locket's an easy one.
Do you use it well?
Yeah, you just press it whenever they go in on you.
Okay, if you remember to, then great.
I remember Locket. Sometimes Knight's Vow. I'll put it on my AD carry, and then you just kind of forget about it. Then
As long as you press the button.
Yeah, you press it the one time. It's now a pick here. Callme! That's not the flowchart DSG won.
Well, it was the Olaf won the flowchart over the Cassio right there, but in a sense, Zinie is jungling for Contractz. So he is setting up for the true carry of the game, which is the Olaf. It's just give me the CC, I will run in and murder him.
If you think about it, we basically have like a 4-way rock, paper, scissors, where Olaf can kill the Cass, Ksante can kill the Lucian. Who do you think wins between Lucian and Cass 1v1? I'm going to put on the Cass.
Yeah.
I feel like Cass.
Rock, paper, scissors, Olaf. That's the...
Rock, paper, scissors, Olaf. There we go.
Olaf
just trumps everybody. Yeah. Does he have Black Cleaver yet? No, not quite. So Ksante can survive a while against him.
Yeah. Contract's going Death Dance next, I think.
Oh.
So he's just going to be an absolute monster. But that really turns the tempo of this game, right? They're able to stop the Cassio from getting pushed. Srtty's trying to get a little bit of push top lane, but the biggest thing for DSG is being able to group around this next Drake that's coming up, because otherwise they give away Mountain Soul, and then they're definitely not killing the Olaf.
Yeah, that gets ridiculous. It's a minute away as already DSG start to group there. They TP Srtty into the mid lane to help them get priority there. They've already taken the top turret, and Shopify Rebellion have nobody currently in that top lane to answer it back. So it seems both teams have the same opinion. It comes down to this fight in 45 seconds.
Okay, Summoner spell, check. Flashes, check. Everybody flash. Everybody heal. Both AD carries barrier. So it's about just, this is the game right here. So Fudge trying to get that last little wave in, maybe can get a little bit of extra gold. I'm wondering if he's close to an item. He's not. So I think I'd rather have Fudge on mid-wave here, just because this is all important. He will be able to get this outer turret and then TP down. Contractz also taking a bit of a late base. He's probably completing an item.
Yeah, 10 seconds for the Dragon, though. DSG,
he's got Death Dance.
They did not spot that. So if they just burn it down immediately, maybe they can get it before Contractz gets there.
Yeah, when stuff like this works out, it is absolutely the right call from Shopify. It's just a little bit risky, but as you can see, actually, Cassiopeia are just burning the Drake.
I think they take it down way too fast. Contractz is now spot on the ward. DSG can say just focus on the objective. He will now run in. Ragnarok used on the Callme. Dragon's been peeled off of. Contractz is going to try and drain, take his way through a TP in for Fudge. He gets the Dragon! Contractz survives in the 1v2, gets the objective, and will win the team fight for Shopify Rebellion.
Contractz is the GOAT. Honor Contractz. Contractz player of the game. Zinie finds a huge one.
They even get on to Sajed. It's a double kill to Zinie. A slaughter under the mid turret. And only Srtty left alive will TP back to safety. The tank will watch as the mid turret will crumble. DSG lose the team fight. Shopify Rebellion 4-for-0, Dragon Soul Baron in their sights.
I just want to go over how insane what Contractz was that he just did. He goes in alone to 2 people that are taking the Drake, runs through them, starts winning the fight, and then smites the Drake. And after that, Zinie gets the perfect 3-man flash ults. Good untiltable for Zinie, because he was down like 60 CS before this play happened, but after getting the Mountain Soul, is able to also secure the team the Baron. And now it's just about moving this Olaf around. What is Kangas?
You can say DSG are getting run over by Shopify Rebellion. 316 don't mean nothing, Jatt. It means what you do on the day. And right now, Shopify Rebellion are winning game number 1 currently.
You did this knowing that it was Shopify, and there was such a low chance that you'd be able to even see it.
Yeah, there's probably a high chance we never saw that footage.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
I'm a man of mystery, Jatt.
Okay.
Okay? Don't ruin the illusion. That was live.
That was live.
Yeah.
You're back once again.
I got better cardio between then. Third and Topo strike onto Contractz. I think Srtty's wishing he had not done that, as now he's the focus of the ire of Shopify Rebellion. Bvoy with the kill, more than enough damage, but now Contractz no longer has the Ragnarok available. He's stuck on the wrong side of the wall, but he just won't go down! Contractz still makes it worth it as he answers his life for another. Big shutdown for Callme, but DSG, at least they got that shutdown.
Woo! We'll see if the shutdown means anything. I think it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
As 9 kills and still a 4,000 gold lead for Contractz, who is just trying to pull Shopify into playoffs. What an insane game he's had so far.
Incredible performance from the jungle, from the bot lane. I like how you highlighted Zinie's mental staying in the game. Even Fudge's mental staying in the game. He got solo killed, but he's still shown up, throwing down great equalizers in the fights, and has been helping out in the damage department. So Shopify Rebellion, they did not lose their focus, and they said, no, Contractz, just set him up, set the jungler up for success. Sometimes even he was setting himself up. The team was mid. He runs the dragon.
I mean, even the very beginning of the game, the full clear into bot crab, into staying to get that first gank kill onto Lyonz. Played through bot the entire game. Also had a couple really good skirmishes early, and then has just played with this lead. It's not like he has like even a super enchanter with him. It's not like he's got a Lulu or a Karma to speed him up extra. The Milio helps a bit as an enchanter, but it's actually the fact that he's just 4,000 gold ahead of you know, the rest of the game. Like, let's see.
Not even building towards a Guardian Angel.
Damage-wise, like he's in a game with a Lucian.
And he's just going in solo. Again, look at Contractz. 1v4 gets a kill onto Sajed. No assists, no backup, just Contractz. Absolutely smacking DSG around.
I mean, he's the richest person in the game, him and Bvoy. He's done the most damage. He's got 10 kills.
This is a legendary performance. What you're seeing on your screen is special right now. It is rare we see this level of pop-off as the stun lands on the Callme and Srtty. The solo laner's locked up on core. Hit with the Breath of Life. Seos countering that one with one click of a button, and DSG do not find an engage.
Contractz ult back up in 5 seconds. They will have multiple waves of supers crashing, even if Baron is down. Sajed just respawned. I'm curious if they get aggressive here. They don't have to.
They have the Ashe arrow, instantly hit by the Mikhails. Seos is ready for that one, so Bvoy's just fine. DSG do not find an angle for the fight, and they're just gonna have to clear up these super minions coming in all 3 lanes.
Zinie TPing back in, though. It looks like they want to keep the pressure up. Fudge, no ult. They're really down a lot of ults, but they want to keep the pressure on because there's nothing else for them to do at the moment.
2:20 till Baron, 1:20 till Elder. Shopify Rebellion, if they just find that one engage with Zinie Tibbers, they can just end the game right here. They have Flash, they have Rocket Belt. I'm watching the mid laner. Zinie, can he find the angle? Srtty's trying to buy space right now for the team. KryRa's on the flank here as Vi, maybe looking for a Vault Breaker, but not gonna find it. There we go! Zinie with the Flash Tibbers on all members of DSG. Callme into the stasis. He was the only one with a gold lead. And with him out of the picture, a double kill to Fudge and almost an ace for Shopify Rebellion. They'll shut down DSG hard in game number 1.
Huge engages from Zinie and a even bigger game from Contractz. When's the last time we saw a jungle carry the game that hard? We're asking chat who the player of the game is. I'm telling them it's Contractz. Lounge, what about you?
Yeah, okay, thank you for asking that.
We did say on the lounge, if someone didn't vote Contractz, we will all gang up on them
Yeah, they're
and
fired.
beat them up.
You're actually fired.
Yeah, just immediately like that. And that
no
goes,
other votes accepted.
that goes to you guys in the chat too. You are all fired if you don't say Contractz.
There's going to be like the one-off votes for. Have we had 100? We've never had 100%.
This could be it.
Dude,
This could be the
Contractz
game.
is him. Let me see the 100%.
Yeah.